Everyone, we're going to be looking at finding the inverse of a function from a graph. This is Nicholas JMV. So I'm just going to show you the graph of x squared, okay? And I just want you to realize that this graph of x squared fails the horizontal line test. So technically, by definition, it doesn't have an inverse, okay? But when we find the inverse of a function, okay, all we have to do, if we given a graph, is if we look at the points x and y, you're just switching them. You're just going to essentially switch their order, okay? So what we're going to do here is graph the inverse, okay? And so at each one of these points, so 0, 0 is going to stay the same, okay? You switch 0 and 0, you get 0 and 0. 1, 0, or excuse me, 1, 1 stays the same as well. Okay, so here, and then this point is 2, 4. That becomes 4, 2. So we'll plot that one. Okay, negative 2, 4 becomes 4, negative 2 down here. And negative 1, 1 becomes 1, negative 1. Okay, so this graph is going to look like this. There is the inverse by just flipping x and y. Okay, now it's important to realize is that in order for x squared to actually have an inverse, we look at the domain. We restrict the domain to being x is greater than or equal to 0. And what would happen is this whole bottom section would be gone, this little part right here, because the inverse of x squared is the square root of x if we were going to solve that by hand, and you'll see that in the other videos. Okay, so it's important to realize that yes, from this graph I can find the inverse by switching x and y. Okay, and that's what I've done here. So that's how you find the inverse from a graph. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. We'll see you next time.